Aren't you tired of love, of romance, of relationship drama and miscommunications? Don't you just wish you could skip all of it? All the troubles and the problems and get to the happily ever after? Well, you're not the only one who's thought of fast passing it to the end, and luckily for you, a webtoon has had the exact same thought process. Maybe Meant to Be is a new romance series out on Webtoon right now. The series follows two people, our female lead Jia Han and our male lead Min Jin. Now I hear you, another romance series? I'm sick of romance. Well, lucky you. This series may be romance, but it starts out as anything but. But to explain what I mean, I have to talk about our leads. Jia Han is a 32-year-old freelancer who is out of work, living with her parents who are always talking about her sister who's already married and has children. Jia Han and her sister live polar opposite lives, and it's clear which side the parents are on. So with her parents always nagging her to find someone to marry, that's when Min Jin enters the picture, eating a chicken breast in the smoking only area. While our two leads have their differences, Min Jin has a good job, has enough money to support himself and others, and is overall a successful, albeit a little boring person, they have their similarities as well, having nagging parents, being 32 years old, and unmarried. And that unmarried part is quite important. Jia Han jokingly suggests that the two get married, and while she mainly suggested it as a joke, it doesn't stop him from taking it seriously, asking her parents for Jia Han's hand in marriage, getting married, and eventually going on their honeymoon in the first episode. I understand that some people don't like a slow burn romance, but married in the first episode? That seems a little fast, don't you think? And I think that's kind of the point. There's no bait and switch. There's no there's no 5 years later or 5 years before. Here we just see the result of those weird deals that friends make when they're afraid they're gonna be single when they're 40. Anyways, the series is a romance series, and while there are underlying romantic tensions, the story isn't really about a romantic relationship yet. Instead, it's currently about a standard friendship. Calling these two friends is a little bit of a stretch. They were really only childhood friends by proximity, being the same age, living in the same building, and going to the same school. But even then, they didn't really know each other. Min Jin was a shy nerd who didn't talk much with others. And while we don't get a lot on Jia Han's school life, we see that she did have friends, but we also get the line, "At least he was able to read the room," with a younger Jia Han, with implications of two-sided friends or a messy falling out. Fast forward to them getting married. Wow, what a jump. But I think that's part of the series' charm. It's outrageous situations with grounded and likable characters. Both of our characters could have been made much less likable. Min Jin could have been a lot less likable. Min Jin is a shy, introverted nerd with a successful career path. And while he's a little dense and seemingly quite introverted, the author didn't make him socially inept or emotionally distant. He's very sweet and obviously cares about what Jia Han wants, wearing the clothing she likes and picked out for him, bringing her earplugs because he snores, picking out a swimsuit that's supposed to be more comfortable than stylish, even willing to rent a separate room if Jia has a cat allergy because of his pet cat Mouse. That's right, his cat's name is Mouse and it's adorable. Meanwhile, Jia hasn't had someone she's been willing to be so close with her in a while. Her parents are subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, trying to tell her to move out and find someone. Her sister is married and has 2 children going on 3. She's out of work and 32 years old. She could have very easily been someone who had the tendencies of high school still in place. There are a lot of people, both in Webtoon series and just in the real world, who haven't changed from high school. She easily could have been a bully or someone with a quote-unquote rude exterior but nice on the inside. And while she does have her crass vocabulary and seemingly quite the smoker, she's a genuinely sweet and honest person. And while this situation is absolutely insane, it highlights something I'm personally a big fan of. At episode 4, while they're already married, the couple decides to write up a contract/wish list on what they want for the marriage, and the biggest one I wanted to focus on is the one they agree on: open communication. It's no secret that many Webtoon romance/drama series get their spice from the miscommunication trope. And it's a trope that I'm honestly quite against. Not because it's unrealistic. I really think that many people fail to say what needs to be said often, but because it's just not healthy. It always takes forever for a person to explain themselves or to open up or to clear the air. But sometimes you don't get that chance. Sometimes the miscommunication will last forever. This is something the Webtoon highlights, that their fake marriage is weirdly healthier than many other romantic relationships. Gia's friend says that the honeymoon is a fight, a war between who gets to be in control, but Gia sees it nothing more than spending time with someone who makes you feel comfortable. This series is weirdly highlighting what makes a healthy relationship without actually having a romantic relationship. And honestly, I think that's the best. Go check out Maybe Meant to Be on Webtoon today, and I hope I'll see you next week. Take care.